What's going on, Beamer fans? Welcome back to Beamer Review. Today we're going to be going over 10 different ways on how to use your BMW like an expert. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel at Beamer Review, what we do here is teach you everything there is to know about your BMW. We also do some really cool tips, tricks, and hidden features. So if you want to learn everything there is to know about your BMW, subscribe to the channel because we put out content every single week. So for this video, we're going to be going over all the different ways that you can use your BMW. A lot of these tricks the average consumer may not know about, so definitely stay tuned for the whole thing because you may learn something new that you may have not have known before. Before we get started, we did want to mention our really cool Amazon store. This store does have some really cool BMW accessories that you could get for your BMW, so definitely check that out at the end of the video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So for number one, all the new BMWs are starting to come out with this really cool curved display, and if you have the curved display, you more likely than not also have iDrive 8. So iDrive 8 is BMW's latest OS system, and it can do some really cool things. One of the main features that I have mentioned in my previous videos is the ability to set up shortcuts. Now, if you don't know what shortcuts is, if you swipe down from the top of the screen, you can see this little menu pop up here. Now, in the older BMWs, they used to have these numerical buttons that you could pre-program to whatever you want, whichever setting, navigation address, or even a phone number. Well, now they did get rid of those presets or programmable memory keys, they say, and now it's all digitized in this menu right over here. So this row of icons, if you can have up to 8 different shortcuts that you could set up for your BMW as well. So yes, shortcuts is one of the major things that we're going to mention here, but we're going to mention some really cool features that you should set up as one of your shortcuts. So check this out. Now, some of the different shortcuts that I set up for mine, and you all can feel free to do all this as well, but basically one of the main ones that I do see myself going into a whole lot is Apple CarPlay Media. So you can see it right there. I was basically able to go right down here where we have this musical note, and then if I had my phone connected to Apple CarPlay, you would see Apple CarPlay Media located right there. And then once you do, all you would have to do is click and hold on Apple CarPlay Media, and then you can set it up as one of the shortcuts there. So now, again, if I did have my phone connected to Apple CarPlay, if I go into that, it would go into whatever music is playing currently through Apple CarPlay. Not only that, but you could also do the same thing with telephone as well. If you want your shortcut to go straight into your Apple CarPlay phone, where you can see your contacts and favorites, you can also set that up as there. One really cool one that was not available in the last generation of iDrive 7. So now for iDrive 8, you can also have specific CarPlay apps set up to be your shortcuts as well. So we also have Waze here too. You can also swap that out for Apple Maps or Google Maps. I tend to use Spotify a whole lot, so I did set that up as a shortcut. Now, these 4 down here are actually really cool because for the new generation BMWs, if you did want to change your drive mode, you would actually have to go right down here to where it says My Modes, and then you would see your modes right here that you can choose from. And then you would have to hit Sport, and then now you'd be in Sport. But just to save you a few different steps, but if I were to swipe down one more time, you can see Sport mode is going to be right there. So now whenever I want to go into Sport, all that I would have to do is simply just click on that. And if I haven't mentioned it already, one quick way that you can quickly access that without touching the screen is down here with this controller. If you push from the bottom going up, you can actually see that the shortcuts menu just popped down as well. So now while you're driving, all you would have to do is just use this guy, and then you can quickly just go into sport mode and keep your eyes closer to the road. So now you're probably going to be wondering why I set up climate control to be right there as well, when you could do the same thing if you were to press climate menu right down here. So the reason why I did that is because you can see that we do have climate menu right here, which I could push, and then that would bring us to the screen here. But the reason why I had climate control set up as one of the shortcuts is because, say for example, if I were driving, instead of me having to touch the screen, all that I would have to do is again push this up from the bottom, and then you can see that shortcuts is right here. Now what's cool is that I can just keep my hand here the whole time, and I can just go right into climate control, which you see right there. Once I go into that, then I can still continue to use this controller to scroll through all these different climate control functions, and I wouldn't have to use my finger and drive at the same time. Now, another cool one that I have set as my number 7 is going to be deactivate anti-theft alarm once. Now, you're probably going to be wondering, when in the heck would you be doing that? If you are somebody who has pets, I'm sure that you know that if you leave your pet inside your BMW, that more likely than not, it is going to set off the motion detector within the vehicle. Now, what's really cool about having this set up as a shortcut is, say for example, if you were going to leave your pet inside your vehicle, all you would have to do is simply press that once, and then you can leave your vehicle, and then your motion detector will not be set off by your pet. And lastly, for my number 8, which is the last one that you can set up as a shortcut, is going to be drive off support once. Now what this will do is, say for example, if you are someone who lives in an area where the climate or terrain would be really bad, say for example you would get tons of snow and ice, this is going to be very, very useful because you can press this yellow tire pop up right here on the screen as well. And what that will do is help you drive off nice and slow, so then the vehicle won't spin out on that rough terrain. It's great to use whenever you're going through deep snow. It will simply help your vehicle get more traction whenever you're taking off from a standstill. So yes, those are going to be some really cool ways that you can set up your shortcuts. So definitely make sure that you're using these shortcuts because they are going to save you tons of time. And this is going to be one of the many different expert ways that you can use your BMW. The next one that you're going to be using every single day is going to be this little shifter here. Now, I've also mentioned this before, but say for example you get to your house or your work, if you're in drive and you want the vehicle to just simply go into park, you actually can prevent yourself from pressing this park button here, and then all you would have to do is, while the vehicle is in drive or in reverse, you can just turn off your car, and then once you turn off your car, you can see that the vehicle just went into park all by itself. So that is great to use because you would save yourself a step from going, say for example, to park and then turning off your car when simply you can literally just turn off your car and then the vehicle will just go into park. The next one is going to have to do with our trip computer. Now the trip computer is going to be this little guy right here. You can see that your total miles are right there, and then your actual trip computer is going to be right here where it says 0.7. You can see by default from the factory it is set to values since individual. What that basically means is that currently you have manual control on whenever you want to reset your trip computer, which is that 0.7 miles right there. If you don't already know, the way that you can reset that is going to be through this little guy right here. Once you're on the screen, all you have to do is just hold down the scrolling knob, and then you can see that the 0.7 just went down to 0. That is going to be how you reset your trip. But let me show you the expert way on how to do this. You can actually have this set so that it can reset to 0 whenever you fill up gas. There is a way to do that within the settings, so let's go ahead and do that. So for right over here, we're going to go into our main menu where we have all our different apps. You're going to go all the way down until you see live vehicle. And then so once you go into live vehicle, you're going to go into where it says content. And then you're going to see this thing called trip data. Go into that. And then you can see right over here that we have our values since individual, which again, this basically means that you have manual control on whenever you want to reset your trip. What we're going to do is set it so that we're going to have the trip computer reset to not only whenever we fill up gas, but of course we are in a BMW iX, so we're going to set it so that whenever we charge the vehicle, that the trip computer is going to go down to 0. So let's go and do that. We're going to click on this box, and then you're going to see since last charge. Once you click on that, then you can see that this trip computer just went back to 0.7, which again, this is going to be our values since our last charge. So now your trip computer will reset every single time you charge your vehicle. And again, if you have a gas powered car, this can also be set so that whenever you refuel the vehicle, that it can also reset the trip that way too. Next up is going to be our voice commands. So I'm sure that you all know that there's many different ways to use this voice command button right over here. Again, if you don't already know by now, there is 2 ways to use this. You hold it down once to get Siri or Google Assistant. And if you click it one time, you're going to get Google Assistant, which pops up on either your head-up display or on your screen right down here. But basically the expert way to use BMW's voice command is going to be through many different ways. But one of the main ways that I see myself using the voice command is to do some basic controls, especially for climate control. So let's just say, for example, we wanted our heated steering wheel to be on. Well, all you would have to do is click it once to get the BMW voice command. And then you can literally just say, turn on my heated steering wheel.
Okay, I'm activating the steering wheel heating.
And then just like that, if I go into climate menu right over here, or you can actually see it right here that our heated steering wheel is on just by the simple voice command. There are different climate control voice commands that you could do as well. Say for example, set temperature to 72 degrees.
I'm setting 72 degrees Fahrenheit for the driver.
Now you can see that the voice command just adjusted that temperature too. It's actually really intuitive as well. You could also say, hey BMW, I'm cold, or hey BMW, I'm hot, and then it can just adjust the temperature all by itself as well. You can do that for heated seats, you can do that for fan speed, You can tell voice command to sync the two temperatures as well, and also many other different ways. The new generation of BMWs, all you would have to say is hello BMW, and then that also brings up the voice command as well, which will prevent you a step from hitting this voice command button. Next up, we're going to be going back to our shifter right over here. Now, you can see that BMW did change the design of their shifter. This new lever shifter that they got going on is still going to feature things like reverse, neutral, park, but right down here, you're going to see D, but depending on which vehicle you have, if you have an EV vehicle, you're going to see B, or also known as one pedal mode. That is what that B is for. If you want to get into that, you would be in drive, and then you would press this down one more time, and that's how you get into that one pedal mode. If you have a EV vehicle, I personally would recommend that you drive in the B mode, which is again the one pedal mode, simply because it is going to slightly increase your range by a little bit. And not only that, again, simply just driving with that one pedal will make your life much more easy, because then you wouldn't have to go switching back and forth. You can simply just use that one pedal mode, and then it will feel weird at first, but then once you get used to it, you probably will never ever go back again. Now, on the flip side, if you have a non-EV vehicle, you're gonna see D/S. So what that S mode simply stands for is gonna be sport transmission mode, or sport gearing mode, they say. This is going to be different from the actual sport mode that we saw earlier, which is going to be that guy right there. The S mode that you would see right here would basically control the shift points on whenever your vehicle shifts gears. Now, one of the best expert ways to use that is, say for example, if you were trying to pass a vehicle, or if you were getting onto the highway, or if you needed some extra power for, say for example, if you were driving through the city and you had to make some really aggressive moves, you could drive in that S mode by pulling down this lever just like you would for it to go into B mode. And driving in the S mode is gonna give your BMW that extra power that you need to get through those tight situations. And then once you're through with that tight situation, all you would have to do is simply click that back one more time. You can do that while you're driving. It's completely safe. I do it all the time. That is going to be one great way to get some extra power, again, for those close, tight situations, and it's highly recommended that you do that. I personally see myself doing that all the time whenever I'm getting onto the highway, or if I'm trying to merge onto a road that may have tons and tons of traffic. Now, all these new BMWs, they are coming out with USB-C ports, but some of the last generation BMWs do still have your regular USB port. This BMW iX, of course, does have the USB-C port. So yes, USB-A is not bad. It is stored in a pretty convenient location, but again, you definitely want to be using your USB-C ports, because again, it will charge your phone 3 times faster. Of course, many BMWs do have a wireless charger as well, which you could also use, but in my opinion, I would personally love my phone to be charged faster, so I would always make sure that I use the USB-C port instead of the USB-A port. So keep that in mind. Get the cord for this. It is available on Amazon. If you have an iPhone, the name for it is going to be USB-C to Lightning, so definitely make sure you get the cord for that. Next up is going to be Comfort Access. Now, many of the new BMWs, they have this cool little thing or feature called Comfort Access. So what Comfort Access is now you can literally just keep your key fob inside your pocket, and then the car can sense whenever you're walking up to your vehicle, and then it will just unlock the doors for you, and vice versa as well. If you're walking away from your vehicle, the doors will lock. Now, the thing with this one is that by default, for many of the new BMWs that come from the factory, it is going to be off by default, so you actually have to go into the settings and then you have to enable that. The way you would do this is you would go click on this little square here, where again brings you back into the menus, and then you would go into where it says doors and windows. Once you go into that, you're going to see Comfort Access right over here. You can see for this vehicle it's already on, but this is what you would want to go into, and then you would want to use this to basically have that feature set up ready to go. But again, by doing this, the vehicle will lock whenever you're walking away and unlock whenever you're walking toward the vehicle. Very, very convenient. Definitely consider using it. This is something that I would be using all the time. This next one is a pretty old one, but there are a good majority of clients or customers that still do not know about the benefit of this side mirror tilting down whenever you're going into reverse. There is a way to do that. It is quite hidden, but the way you would control that feature is going to be through these little guys right over here. If you have a different style selector switch for your side mirrors, it pretty much does work the same way, but basically, if you wanted your right side mirror to fold down, you would just simply make sure that this switch is set to the left position. And then now, once you do that, you can see right here that I'm going to go into reverse, and then that side mirror there is going to fold down. And then the reason why this helps is because if you're in a parallel parking situation, you can actually see the curb much better by doing it this way, and it does do a really good job of helping you parallel park. If you are someone who won't be using that feature, the way that you would deactivate that is by moving this selector switch to the right side there, and then that is how you can control. This next one is also pretty old in the books. You can roll down your windows by holding down this unlock button. You can see the windows go down. But let's just say, for example, if you got out your car and then you forgot to close one of the windows, instead of having to jump into your vehicle and rolling the windows up, all you would have to do is hold down this lock button and then the windows will go right back up. It also does fold in the side mirror there, which is really cool. And then if you did have a sunroof, it would close your sunroof as well. Again, the way that I did that is by holding down the lock on the key. This next one I should have mentioned whenever we were going through the shortcuts, but it is preconditioning. Now, what's really cool about preconditioning is that, yes, there are two different types people confuse preconditioning on. You have one where it's remote start, where it does turn on the engine and blow hot and cool air within the vehicle. But preconditioning, your regular one, which every BMW pretty much has these days, basically just having the fans on within the vehicle, so it keeps it nice and cool. If, say for example, you were leaving a pet within the vehicle, or if you just had to quickly go run to the grocery store. The way that you would enable that, you would go into the main menu, you click on browse, type in pre, and then you're gonna see preconditioning pop up right over here. Now, I actually already went ahead and set this up as a shortcut, which is what I would recommend you do as well. Because now if I swipe down, we're gonna see our shortcuts here, and you can see that I set the preconditioning to start now, which is gonna be this little button right over here. So now let's just say, for example, if I came to a stop and I needed to quickly just go run to the gas station, which wouldn't make sense in this BMW iX, but anyways, if I had to quickly go run to the grocery store, and if it was a really hot day out just like this, and if I wanted to return to my vehicle at a nice cool temperature or room temperature, all that I would have to do is simply just hit start now, and then I could exit my vehicle and lock the car. And then while I'm doing that, the fans will be continuously blowing within the vehicle, and then whenever I get back into it, then it won't be blazing hot, and save myself from a heat stroke. Another major setting that I see people doing all the time is having the side mirrors fold in whenever you lock the vehicle. That is a setting you have to go into here and enable. If you go into the main menu, you're gonna scroll down to where it says doors and windows. Once you go into that, then you're gonna see lock and unlock, which is right over here. And then if you go into that, you're gonna see all these different options that you can choose from. But again, the fold mirrors in when locked, for a lot of BMWs, it is gonna be a feature that you have to enable. So by turning that green, now whenever I lock the vehicle, it will fold in the side mirrors. This is a good little trick to do, because then if you were walking away from your vehicle, you could simply just look at your side mirrors to see if they're folded in, and then you would know immediately if the vehicle is locked or not. If you are someone who park in the city a whole lot, this is going to be a great feature to have, because then no one can bump into your side mirror and then cause damage that way too. All right, for the next bit, we're going to be checking out the My BMW app. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not have the My BMW app, you're making a big mistake, because this should be the first thing that you should get even before you get into your BMW. Just go ahead and download the app. You'll be glad that you did. So the app can do some pretty cool things. You can lock and unlock the car from wherever you are. You can do preconditioning straight from the app as well. If you have an EV, you get this really cool charging menu that allows you to control the charge in your vehicle, such as when you want to charge it. You can set up a schedule. Within the app as well, you also have this navigation screen that we have here, where you can send an address to the vehicle, so that whenever you get into the car, the navigation will be there ready to go. And also right down here, you can also see that there is a way to call accident or roadside assistance. This calls BMW Assist, and then you can let them know if you did have an emergency or a flat tire. Another big reason why BMW is getting rid of the run flat tires is because now they do have free roadside assistance that comes with their vehicles for about 4 years. So keep that in mind. But yes, the app is also where you can go to set up your digital key, which we have here. Now, there's two types of digital keys that are going to be going on, maybe three. From one, we have the digital key card, which is not related to this. We have digital key, which is where you would still have to physically tap your phone, like this picture here. And then you still have to physically put your phone into the charging tray to start your car. Now, the new BMW, such as the 24X5 and the iX, they have digital key plus, which works very similar to your physical key fob, because you could just keep that inside your pocket or your purse and then just walk up to your car and then unlock it. Sharing the digital key is super easy as well. You literally just send it over through a text message, and then you can completely control who has the key, when they have access, and so on and so forth. Also, if you click on your car, you go into this menu here, where you can check to see if your car is fully locked or unlocked. You can also check your tire PSI. And over here, this last little tab, you can see when your next services are due. This is also a good tab to be in whenever you want to do a software update. But yes, this is the app. It is super great to use. All the experts use it. You should too. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be many different expert ways to use your BMW. If you learned something new, definitely like the video, comment down below. I respond to every single comment, so definitely feel free to reach out. Also, before you go, definitely check out that link that goes to our Amazon store. Again, there are some super cool BMW accessories that you may want to get for your BMW, so definitely check that out. Again, the link for this is going to be in the description, and I will also put it in the comments down below and pin it as well, so you'll see it there. This is going to wrap it up for the video. So have a great day, and I will see you for the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.